What if the fall of Sodoma hides a truth so shocking the church buried it in silence? A secret that could shake your faith to its core. Imagine a city consumed by fire, its people lost to a judgment we've only half understood. A story the pulpits dare not touch. This isn't the tale you were taught. This is the uncensored truth about Sodoma, a revelation that burns with forbidden knowledge. If you're brave enough to face the unknown, stay with me, because what I'm about to whisper could change everything you believe. Close your eyes and let me take you back to a land of dust and despair, where the air carries the stench of sulfur and the cries of a doomed city. This is the story of Lot, a man caught in the maelstrom of Sodom's sins, a witness to a night so dark it's been scrubbed from the sermons, a truth I'm trembling to share with you now. It starts in the fertile plains near the Dead Sea, a place where the sun baked the earth and the rivers shimmered with promise, where Lot chose to settle with his family, drawn by the richness of the land and the bustle of the city. I can see him now, a weary traveler pitching his tents, his eyes taking in the towers of Sodoma, its streets alive with merchants and laughter. Yet beneath that vibrancy lay a shadow he couldn't yet name. The city pulsed with life, but it was a life tainted by excess, men and women indulging in pleasures that twisted the soul, their voices rising in revelry that echoed into the night. Lot settled there, his heart torn between the prosperity and the unease that gnawed at him. A man who wanted a home yet felt the weight of a moral abyss opening beneath his feet. His wife and daughters adapted, their days filled with the clatter of markets. But I can feel the tension in his silence, the questions he buried as the city's darkness crept closer. The tension broke one fateful night, when strangers, angels in disguise, arrived at Lot's door, their presence a beacon in the growing storm. I can almost hear the knock, the creak of the door as he welcomed them, his voice trembling with hospitality, yet laced with fear. Word spread like wildfire, and soon the men of Sodoma gathered, their eyes wild with desire, pounding on his threshold, demanding the visitors be handed over for their lustful whims. Lot stood firm, offering himself instead, a desperate plea to protect his guests. And in that moment, I feel the horror in his chest, the clash of duty and dread. The angels intervened, blinding the mob, their power a warning of the judgment to come. But that night revealed a truth the church seldom speaks of. The depth of Sodoma's immorality wasn't just in its acts, but in the hearts that reveled in them without shame. The judgment fell like a thunderbolt, a fire from heaven that consumed the city in a blaze no one could escape. I can smell the sulfur, hear the scream swallowed by the roar of flames, see the ash raining down as Lot fled with his family, the angels urging them to leave without looking back. His wife, unable to resist, turned to witness the destruction. And in that glance, she became a pillar of salt, a statue of sorrow frozen in time. The scriptures mark this in Genesis 19:24-25. Then the Lord rained down burning sulfur on Sodom and Gomorrah from the Lord out of the heavens. Thus he overthrew those cities and the entire plain, destroying all those living in the cities. That verse is a key, unlocking the story of divine wrath. But it asks what the church left out that haunts me. The whispers of a survivor's tale, a perspective erased from the pulpit. That survivor was Lot's daughter, a young woman whose voice history nearly silenced, yet whose story carries a weight that chills the soul. After the destruction, she and her sister found themselves alone with their father in a cave, the world they knew reduced to ashes. I can feel the cold stone against their skin, the silence broken only by their sobs, the despair of a future stolen. In their desperation, they made a choice that shocks even now. They lay with their father to preserve their line, an act born of survival yet stained with taboo. That night, conceived in the shadow of Sodom's fall, they bore sons, Moab and Ammon, ancestors of nations that would later war with Israel. This truth hidden in Genesis 19:36-37 So both of Lot's daughters became pregnant by their father. Asterisk is a mirror of human frailty, a detail the church buries to protect its image, but one that speaks to the pain of those left behind. The aftermath lingered like a scar on the land, a wasteland where Sodoma once stood, its memory a cautionary tale passed in hushed tones. I can imagine the travelers avoiding that cursed ground, their footsteps quickening as they spoke of fire and salt, their hearts heavy with the lesson of unchecked sin. Lot, now a broken man, wandered with his daughters, his faith tested by the loss of his wife and the burden of their actions, a figure adrift in a world that no longer made sense. The angel's warning echoed in his mind, a reminder of escape, yet the cost of survival weighed on him like chains, a man who lived but never truly recovered. The land began to whisper with the echoes of that night, tales carried by the wind that spoke of a deeper judgment. I can hear the rustle of leaves as shepherds spoke of visions, of figures in the smoke who wept for Sodom's lost souls, suggesting a mercy beneath the wrath. The people who passed by felt a chill, a sense that the city's fall was not just punishment, but a call to reflect, a truth the church often shrouds in fear rather than understanding. Years later, a scribe named Elihu emerged, his hands trembling as he recorded a forbidden account, a scroll that hinted at survivors beyond Lot's family. I can see him by lamplight, his quill scratching against parchment, his eyes wide with the weight of what he uncovered, whispers of a remnant spared by grace, a detail the church dismissed as heresy. His words suggest a hope, a thread of redemption woven into the ashes, a perspective that challenges the narrative of total doom. The legacy of Sodoma grew into a parable, a story told around fires as the seasons turned, its lessons etched into the hearts of those who listened. I can feel the warmth of those flames, the murmur of voices as they spoke of sin and salvation, their tales weaving a tapestry of warning and wonder. The land bore the scars, but it also cradled a promise, a reminder that even in ruin, there could be a path to renewal. As the centuries passed, the truth about Sodoma became a mirror for those who sought it, a reflection of their own battles with temptation and grace. I can sense the quiet of those nights, the stars above bearing witness to a story that asked hard questions. How do we judge? How do we forgive? The fall of that city lingers, a whisper that challenges us to look within, to find the balance between justice and mercy.